now it forces the defense to have to play assignment sound football. It helps neutralize some of the weaknesses we have from a size or strength standpoint inside. And, you know, for us, I do think the passing game is going to have to continue to come along because we need to have the balance on offense. And if you look at Iowa, they're a team that's balanced on in the run and passing game. And we're going to need that if we want to win games down the road. So we'll continue to develop our passing game. We'll continue to try to improve and get better at running the football more consistently. And that's what I think you'll see us get better.
Coach, Iowa was a team that began the year under the radar. They've kind of taken everybody by surprise. What jumps off the tape when you see the Hawkeyes? What really concerns you with what they do?
I mean, they're well coached. Coach Ferentz does a good job of having those guys very sound. When you look at them, and I've had the fortune or misfortune to play against Iowa during my Illinois days, as well as at Florida. We played them in a bowl game, so I've had a chance to see this team for a long time. Since 2003, I've seen them, and they haven't changed very much in who they are, their identity on offense or defense and special teams, and they've always been really sound. They try not to do a lot in terms of they're not trying to trick you or mask it. They line up and they play good, hard-nosed, clean football in all three phases. They play with great effort, and again, when you look at them this year, the thing that jumps out to me is the balance they have. Traditionally, when you face an Iowa team, you've got to stop the run first and foremost, which we'll have to do, but they're also throwing the ball with C.J. Beathard pretty well, and again, they're 200 yards rushing, 200 yards passing, somewhere in that area, and that balance is what gives them some advantages, and they're playing really well right now.
Mike, building off that question, you guys beat this team last year. They were a 7-6 football team. Now they're undefeated and trying to finish the season undefeated. When you take a look at the tape, what's the big jump for them that's put them from a team that won 7 games to a team that's kind of threatening to go undefeated in the regular season?
I mean, I think it starts with just their execution. I mean, last year they had the quarterback situation where they were going back and forth between the two quarterbacks, and the development of their team from one year to the next. It's hard to compare those two. I think what they're doing now as a team is they're executing at a really high level in all three phases, and their quarterback's playing well and protecting the football, and on the defensive side of the ball, they're stopping the run. They're like number 3 in the country against the run, and they're making people play, as we say, left-handed by forcing you to, or taking away the things that you do well to force you to have to do it from the other side. And again, that's a sign of a well-coached team, and Coach Ferentz has those guys playing very well.
Coach, I know coaches aren't typically into moral victories or anything, but after a long couple weeks, were you happy with the way your guys kind of came out and played and performed this past week?
You're exactly right. The moral victory thing is not something that, as a coach program that we're 4 or 5 years into, you don't get to have those. I like the way our team has come together after facing some tough adversity the last couple of weeks. I like the way that our team played really loose and ran to the ball, and we had a lot of guys contribute in the game on Saturday. I like that we fought for 60 minutes for the most part, up until that last minute and a half, and we still had an opportunity to win the game. Those are the things that we can build on. We look at the last three games we played. We played Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. All 3 teams are ranked. All 3 teams are well coached. All 3 teams are in the top of our division. And we played in parts of each of the first 2 games, but then last week I felt we played for 4 quarters, and I felt like we left everything out on the field. So as I told the team after the game, anytime you can come in the locker room and know that you left everything that you had out on the field, then the scoreboard won't define us. We'll have to get the things corrected to find a way to win the game next time. But if they leave it all out on the field, I'll deal with the loss, and we'll get it corrected through coaching and through developing our team.
Coach, that was kind of a good lead into my question. Ever since conference play started, you guys have had a gauntlet of the schedule, playing ranked team after ranked team, and the team seemingly seems to be playing better each week. Does it feel that way in the locker room because they're just knocking on the door of a big win that could possibly spark the next little run here for that season?
I mean, we've shown better football the last couple of weeks. I think defensively we've been pretty consistent. I think offensively, we're starting to come along with the ability to how we've been able to run the ball the last couple of weeks. You know, as I told our team, you know, we've got to continue to get better. And, you know, we played for 60 minutes last week, but now what we've got to do is take the next step and finish. And finishing entails making plays that are there to be made. You know, we had the ball with 5 minutes to go in that game at the plus 45, and with Brad, you know, we needed to get the ball to the plus 33 to get the field goal to win the game. And, you know, we come out and we don't execute on offense. And, you know, we had an opportunity to win the game. We've got to find a way to do it. And, you know, for 60 minutes we fought, but now we've got to have our playmakers step up and make the big plays or make the clutch plays in clutch time. And, you know, that's the difference right now in the win and the loss for us.
You mentioned earlier that Perry, his skill set enables, you know, you guys have a better shot of running the ball, probably the running backs as well. Last year, CJ had kind of that similar skill set, but it didn't really translate as much as it did maybe against Penn State last week. So I know, you know, there was some concentration on beefing up on the offensive line, getting stronger. What's kind of made the difference beyond that?
Well, again, too, you know, we have gotten better up front. And, you know, I think with Perry and CJ, you know, Penn State, what they did on defense the last couple of years has been blitzing us. And if you look at last year's game, we were really close and against pressure and making really big plays. And then this week, this past week, we actually made some of those plays. And, you know, that was the difference in the game. And, you know, I can remember last year's game against them, and you know, we were just missing. We had a screen wide open to Brandon Ross that we dropped. We missed a deep shot play. So I thought last year we didn't do a good job of taking advantage of working into the pressure. I thought this year Perry did a better job against Penn State in the pressure part.
Do you think you are better equipped to run the ball against the Iowas, Penn States of the world now?
We're getting better. We're getting better.
Mike, this is kind of a similar question. You know, when you see a quarterback like Perry run for that much, the first thing you kind of think of is CJ over the past few years. What do you kind of see? Is there that much similarity between them, or do you see some differences in the styles and the way that they run?
I mean, there's some differences. I think both of them, though, have the ability to, when the ball is pulled, they have an ability to speed-wise to outrun defensive linemen. And a lot of the zone read stuff entails reading the D lineman and being able to get past that first level. You know, CJ probably is a little better athlete than what Perry is. Perry's more of a straight line guy, you know, and CJ also had the ability to throw the ball and some of the run pass option stuff that we do. And but they do have a similar skill set. Perry's probably a little more powerful, whereas CJ was a little more finesse, a little more skillful.
Two more.
Coach, you talked about you need the playmakers to make the difference, but would you also point out some of the mistakes? You've addressed some of the turnovers, but you had great coverage last Saturday, but the Penn State guy, receiver, usually got to the ball. Would you say you're going to have to correct a lot of those things to beat a team like Iowa, needing almost a perfect game?
Well, that's what I said in terms of making clutch plays. Clutch plays just not on the offensive side. I mean, we had 11, what we would call 50-50 balls in the air, and they converted 10 of the 11. So if you look at the tape, which we have, and I don't know how much you guys watch it, but very few times were the defensive backs not in position. They were right there to make the play. And so now, as I said earlier, the next step is to finish that play. You know, if you look at Will Likely, he played a deep ball in the right corner of the end zone, and Will's a guy that has an offensive skill set. So when the ball's in the air, our DBs need to transition into receivers and attack the ball at the highest point and make a play like their receivers did. And if they're not in position to do it, then they need to play the hands, which we didn't do either. So there's no doubt on both sides of the ball, we've got to make those clutch plays. We've got to finish it, and we definitely have to correct those things, not just the turnovers, but playing the ball, playing the deep ball, containing, and making sure that we do a good job of running to the ball and tackling on defense.
Thanks, Coach.
We hit Terminus!